Hi guys! So today I thought I would show you a quick New Year's Eve eyeshadow tutorial ready for tomorrow night. I don't know what you're up to, but this one is just a really versatile look. It's going to be quite sparkly, but I think that New Year's Eve is obviously the one night of the year that you can really go all out there with the glitter. So yeah, it's not too over the top, so whether you're going for dinner, going for drinks, or whatever you're doing, I think it's a really lovely look and will suit most eyes. So yeah, I've got all my things laid out in front of me here. I'm just going to kind of chat through as I'm doing it and tell you what I'm doing. I look a bit weird at the moment because I've got my makeup on other than anything on my eyes. My eyes are completely naked, so they're all ready for me to do my eyeshadow. So yeah, keep watching if you'd like to see the look that I'm going to be going for tomorrow night. So first things first, I'm going to apply an eyeshadow primer. And the one I'm using and the one I always use is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I just find this one really good, and I've had it like 2 years I think now. Yeah, it just came in a set with my Naked palette, which actually I'm going to be using in a bit. And it's only teeny, but it's lasted me ages. So let me just grab a mirror. And I'm just going to apply that all over both my lids. So I'm just going to dab a little bit on. And then just blend it with my finger. Obviously you don't have to use a base or a primer, but it does just help your eyeshadow to really stick in place and it makes it last longer. So I would never normally use it on a daily basis, but if I'm going out in the evening, I'll usually try and apply it if I remember, just to make my makeup last longer really. And I think for this look it's especially important because I'm going to be using a glitter eyeshadow, and with glitter it can be a bit of a nightmare and flake off everywhere. So using a potion just is like another way of helping that keep in place as well. So that's all patted in nicely. Now I'm just going to take this brush here. This doesn't have a brand on it actually, but I'm pretty sure I got this from Superdrug, and it's just one of their really cheap ones. It's one of those things I think I bought because I went somewhere and forgot my brush, and then I bought this one just as an emergency. But it's actually really good. It's just a really flat, wide brush, so it's great for starting off and putting your base colour on. And the base colour I'm going to use for this look, it's not actually a proper eyeshadow, it's a highlighter. I often use highlighters actually for my base shadow, and this is the MAC Soft and Gentle Mineralised Skin Finish. So I'm just going to pack a bit of that onto my brush and just tap off the excess. I always tap off the excess, otherwise I find it goes all down my face and I'm left with a sparkly face. And I'm just going to sweep that over my eyelids, like that. Right from the inner corner to the outer corner, just over the lid itself. Put a bit more on to the other eye. And this is just a really gorgeous, it's like a champagne-y shade. And it's shimmery, but it's not too glittery just yet because I'm going to be adding glitter later on. I didn't want anything too sparkly. So this is perfect, just as my base shade. There we go. Now I'm going to go in and actually apply my first lot of colour. And I've taken my Urban Decay Naked palette, which is so worn out now. Look at that, that's horrible. Just because I take it wherever I go because it's the kind of shades I like to use. So it's very well travelled. And actually if I just dust off the mirror, I can use this mirror for this bit. There we go. And I'm just going to use the brush that actually came with this palette, so I find it perfectly fine for using this eyeshadow. So this is just the Urban Decay brush that comes with it. And I'm going to go in for a bit of Sidecar, I think, which is just a really gorgeous light brown shimmery shade. And I'm not going to go all the way to the corner of my eye because I still want to see a bit of the highlighter colour that I just put on. So I'm just going to go kind of 3/4 the way along, but not quite to the inner corner. Nearly, but not quite. And then just pat that on top and sweep it outwards. So I'm just really building up that colour nicely. And on top of the champagne shade that I just put on, it just looks really pretty. And the same on the other side. I find these kind of neutral brownish shades really good as they go with any eye colour. I've got blue eyes obviously, but if you've got green eyes, brown eyes, hazel eyes, it goes with all of them, so it's just a really versatile look. There we go. Lovely. So now I'm just going to build up the colour slightly. I want to go for a kind of dark brown smoky eye, and then I'm going to apply some gold glitter on top. So I really want to start building up that smokiness now. So I'm just going to go in with my MAC 286 brush, which is just a fluffy brush like this. And it's just really good for sweeping over the crease of your eye. And I'm going to go in to start with the shade Buck, which is just a matte light brown colour. So it's just a really good one to start with. So I'm just sweeping that back and forth like a rainbow in my crease to get some definition in my eye socket there. There we go, already you can see it starting to define my eye a bit. And the same in the other eye. And I'm just going to build that up and put a little bit more on. It is obviously New Year's Eve and it is an evening look, so I'm not worried about going too heavy. Just as long as it's blended really well. I'll fast forward when I'm doing the other eye, otherwise that's really boring, it's just a repeat of what I'm doing. Okay, now I'm going to take my Urban Decay brush again. It doesn't matter that I haven't cleaned it in between because I'm going to be putting a darker shade on. So it's still got a bit of sidecar on from when I just used it, but it's fine because I'm going to go with a darker shade. And this time I'm going to go in with Dark Horse, which is a lovely dark brown colour, which has a slight shimmer to it, but it isn't too shimmery, so it's really good just for building that smokiness. So I'm just going to pat that onto the brush. And this one I'm going to apply around half the way along my eyelid. So I want it on the outer half. So I'm just going to pat that on there halfway through. And it doesn't matter if it's not that neat because I'm going to blend it in a minute. So that's just adding some smokiness to it now. And as you can see, it really isn't that neat. It looks like I've just kind of smudged it on, but that's fine. And then what I'm going to do is take my MAC fluffy brush again, just to blend it out and neaten it up. So just sweeping that all through the socket. Don't be afraid to take it up slightly higher, so I'm just literally sweeping it back and forth to create a lovely smoky look. Like that. And don't worry, by the way, if you see all the eyeshadow dropping down your cheeks. That always happens to me, but we can wipe it away at the end. So we've got a really nice brown smoky base there to work with. Now I'm going to take a cotton bud and just apply a little bit of the highlighter that I used at the beginning, just on the inner corners of my eye. So just back in with my MAC, just dabbing my cotton bud in there. I love cotton buds, by the way, for doing eye makeup. They're so cheap and basic, but sometimes nothing beats a good cotton bud. Honestly, I've tried so many different brushes, but a cotton bud is the best thing for doing this. And then I'm just really lightly dabbing that in the corner of my eye there, just to open it up. Same on the other side. So just on the very inner corner and just taking it underneath ever so slightly. This just really helps to open up the eye, especially if you've got slightly smaller eyes. Now I'm going to apply some shadow to underneath the eye, and the first thing I'm going to use is a Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow stick. And this is the Colour Chameleon Bronze to Garnet, and it actually says for green eyes, and I obviously have blue eyes, but I think you're allowed to use whatever colour eyeshadow stick on whatever colour eyes. She's just recommending that they work particularly well on that colour. So I'm just going to go underneath my lower lash line and just apply a bit of this shadow stick underneath to line it like this. I love this colour, it's just a really bronzy, coppery brown, which I just think is so pretty. I'm literally just going back and forth and lining that, which looks quite harsh to start with, but I'm going to blend it out now with my finger. So just using my little finger, I'm just going to literally smudge that, just rubbing my finger gently over. Obviously you don't want to be too heavy-handed on your eyes, just to smudge it a bit. I just think that defines the eye. It gives a smoky, bronzy effect, just really nicely. And it lasts a really long time using that colour stick as opposed to just eyeshadow, like that. Then I'm going to go back to my Naked palette and apply the same Dark Horse colour just on top of what we've just done underneath the eye, just to really make it a nice smoky evening look. Blow away the excess and literally just go on top of that like that. Perfect. And then often what I do is just go back in with my fluffy brush after I've done the bottom, just back into the top, just to kind of blend the two together where the eye meets at the end, like that. So just literally just to make sure it's all a nice blended look. You can even take your cotton bud again and just go over. I've not even put any more product on there, but just go over the inner corner just to make sure that's all still there. Like that. So now we've got this nice brown smoky look going on. I'm going to go in with some eyeliner, and I am using the L'Oreal Black Lacquer Super Liner, which is just a black liquid eyeliner, and I just like this one because the nib is really fine and it's just easy to apply. I'm not actually very good at liquid liner. Normally I'm really close to the mirror stretching my eye like this, so bear with me. Might be a little bit shaky, but I'm just going to do a really thin layer of that across the eyelid. And I'm not doing anything as dramatic as a big flick or anything at the end, but I am just taking it out ever so slightly, just giving it a slight wing, like that. Just defines the eye a bit better and makes it a bit more of an evening-y look. Now for the fun bit, we're going to add the glitter. So the eyeshadow I'm using is the MAC Glitter Brilliance, and this is in the shade which is called Gold. I actually haven't used this since last New Year's Eve. I remember last New Year's Eve I really wanted a gold, really glittery eyeshadow, and this was the one I wanted. And everywhere, like all the MAC stores sold out of it. I tried like 4 different MAC stores, and I finally managed to get it, honestly, like 2 hours before I was meant to be going out. And I was so pleased, so I really wanted it. And it's just this gorgeous, it's gold glitter basically, but it's just so pretty. It's not the big chunky flakes, it's just really fine, but really pigmented and really glittery. So this looks awesome, and it's absolutely perfect for New Year's Eve. Like I said at the beginning, I think there's very few nights that are more perfect for a glittery eye than New Year's Eve. So yeah, definitely going to be whacking this one out tomorrow. The only thing, like I say, is a little bit messy to use, so I'll show you what I do to avoid getting it too much all over me. It still does drop down me a bit, I'll be honest, but it definitely does prevent it being too much of a glitter shower. So I just take a good old cotton wool pad, doesn't matter even if you have the smaller one, or even a tissue folded up would be fine. And then when I'm applying it, I'm just going to put it under my eye like this, so any of the loose glitter that drops, because it will do, the cotton wool will catch a lot of it, so then it avoids it going on the face too much. You'll see when I do it now. So yeah, that's my top tip when applying glitter. So I'm just going to be using my MAC, what brush is this? Oh, it's rubbed off. Oh, here we go. I think I need glasses. My MAC 272 brush, which is just a small eyeshadow brush like that. Let me just open my glitter ready. It comes with a little plastic lid which I can just carefully peel off like that. And what I'm going to do, before I dip my brush into the pot, I'm going to give it a quick spritz with my MAC Fix Plus spray, and that just makes the glitter stick to the brush, and then I can pack it onto my eye, whereas otherwise it's quite hard to get the glitter to stay on the brush. So I'm just going to give it a really quick... Oh, I completely missed then. There we go. I'm just waving it in the air where I put the thing. There we go. So I've just wet my brush with the Fix Plus spray. So now it's slightly damp, and it just means, yeah, when I dip it in, all the glitter will stick to it nicely. So let me just dip that in like that. I'm using both sides actually. I'm just going to really coat it nicely. And then what I'm going to do is just tap it quite vigorously to get rid of any loose glitter. Perfect. As you can see, my brush is really nicely coated. Because of the Fix Plus spray, it's really held that glitter on there nicely. So then, I'm just going to apply my cotton wool like that and start packing it onto the lid. This is such a weird angle because I'm trying to hold this on and hold my mirror and apply it with my brush. So normally, obviously, I wouldn't be holding a mirror as well, but it's just to show you guys. So sorry for the awkward angle. There we go. Talk about multitasking. What's really important here is the motion you use. So this is very much a patting. I'm literally pressing this glitter onto my eye. I'm not sweeping it. If you sweep it, that's when you'll lose loads of the glitter. So I'm really just pressing it on, a patting motion all across the eyelid. And then I'm just turning the brush around because I've used most of the glitter on that side. And I'm just doing that again. There. Now I'm going to dip my brush, I'm just dipping it back into the eyeshadow, tapping again, and I'm going back in for another layer, just building it up nicely. Oh, it's so pretty, it's so New Year's Eve-y, it's literally perfect. There we go. And, okay, I've still got a bit of glitter down my cheek, but that did, as you can see, if the light's picking that up, that did collect quite a lot of it, so that's really useful. And look at that. A really lovely gold glittery eye. Now for the other side. There we go, like that. So now I've got nice sparkly gold eyes. I have got a few loose bits of glitter. I'm not sure if the light's picking it up, but I can see them shining at me that have dropped down my face, because obviously the cotton wool can't catch everything. So what I do when that happens, I just grab my concealer and my concealer brush, and I just apply a little bit more of that underneath my eye, and it just kind of sweeps some of it away, and yeah, it just makes the under eye area a little bit fresher. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I don't think it matters if you have a few bits of glitter. Kind of adds to the whole look. This does help a lot though. There we go. Just getting rid of some of that excess. So now all my glitter's been applied, I'm just going to quickly highlight my brow bone. And I'm actually not going to add any more product onto my brush, but I'm just going to use the Superdrug brush that I used earlier, the very first eyeshadow I used, which was the matte highlighter. And I'm just going to sweep that lightly over my brow bone. Like I say, no more extra product, just using the excess that's still on there from before. Just sweep that under my eyebrow like that, just to highlight my brow bone. And now for mascara. Obviously you can use your favourite mascara, whatever one works for you. I'm currently using the Max Factor False Lash Effect, which says it's for full lashes and a natural look mascara. Which I don't really understand, because it says False Lash Effect and then it says natural look. So surely false lashes isn't a natural look. But anyway, this is what I'm using at the moment. It's just a big fat brush, which I quite like. So I'm going to apply plenty of mascara, because this is a glamorous evening look. So I just like to go as close to the root as possible, pull my lashes up, and then go on the other side of the lash as well and almost twirl the wand in my hand like that to really comb it through all the lashes. So I basically just wiggle it any which way, just to ensure all my lashes are nicely coated. And I like to do that 2 or 3 times when I'm going out in the evening, as I personally like a lot of mascara on my eyelashes. I'm actually going to be adding false lashes to this look, so it doesn't matter too much because you are putting false lashes on top, but it's always good to have a nice coating for applying them. And then not forgetting bottom lashes, of course. I would actually normally curl my lashes with eyelash curlers before putting my mascara on, but because I'm going to be adding false lashes, it's not really necessary. I can just see so much glitter shining out at me here. I just think it's really nice to do a look that you can't necessarily do all the time. So yeah, I wouldn't normally apply loads of glitter, but because it's New Year's Eve, it's a really good opportunity to be all sparkly. So that's my mascara done. Now onto the false lashes. The ones I'm using for this look are the Eldora lashes, and these are in the model number H167. And they look quite long actually, I haven't used these before. They just look really nice and fluttery. Nothing too crazy. I don't really like the really spiky ones, so hopefully these will look really pretty once they're on. And I think the easiest way to apply false lashes is to get a pair of tweezers and just really carefully take it out of the plastic packet by the middle. And then what I like to do is apply the glue onto a cotton bud. I told you I love cotton buds. Onto a cotton bud first, just because then it's really easy to apply to the actual lash line. I'm using the Duo adhesive with this, which is just a really good one. Oh no, I've dropped my lash. Disaster. I thought we didn't have glue on it. There we go. Put my lash up. Dropped my lash again, pick it back up. I'm sure you'll be doing this much more smoothly. There we go. So now I'm just going to apply the glue onto the lash line using the cotton bud. Just a nice thin layer, but enough that will hold it down. I tend to like to blob a tiny bit more on the edges as well, as that's where it tends to unstick. Now the most important thing when applying false lashes is not to put them on straight away now while the glue's still really wet. You need to leave them for kind of 30 seconds to a minute, just so the glue goes slightly tacky. I'm sure you all know this, but yeah, you just need to make sure the glue isn't really wet or they'll slide all over the place. And that's what I always used to do by mistake, and it would end up being a complete mess. So I'm just going to wait for this to dry a bit. I'm just getting my tweezers right in the centre of it like so, and then I can just lay it on, and hopefully it will go into position. So this one is for my right eye. Just going to leave it a bit more, blow on it a bit. I'm always really impatient and just want to get them on, but you must let it go tacky. And then the easiest way, I think, is to look down slightly into a mirror. So I'm going to put my mirror here and then look down into it. And I'm just going to be trying to line up the middle first. I'm going to try and get the middle in place, and then I can line up the edges. You might find that you need to cut your lashes to size when you first open them. So these ones, these ones look fine, but if you've got slightly smaller eyes, you might want to measure them first and just snip a tiny bit off the outer corner just to make them fit. But yeah, always cut from the outer corner. That's always the best place to cut them if you do need to shorten them. So these should be ready. Let me just give them a little tap. See if it's gone tacky. Yeah, I reckon they're good to go. Perfect. So the middle is in place. And now I'm just going to tap the edges into place. Obviously really careful if you're using tweezers. In fact, I often don't use the metal bit for this part, and I turn them around just to use the blunt end, just to press them into place. And then what's really good to do now is just to press them ever so gently to your natural lashes. And don't worry if you see the white glue at this point, because it does dry clear, but you're better not to fiddle with it and just to let it dry on its own. Perfect, so that side's done. I'm really pleased with those actually. They are long, but they're quite wispy, so they don't look too over the top. Let me just do the other eye. So my lashes are now on. They just really help to open up your eyes and just give you more of a dramatic look for something like New Year's Eve. Now what I like to do once I've applied my false lashes is just to go back in with my black eyeliner. Sometimes you're going to have a really small gap between your real lashes and the false lashes, and it just blends everything together nicely. So I'm just going to go back in and touch up with the black eyeliner, just to really make sure it's seamless. What you can also do, and what I sometimes do, is also go back in with your mascara just to really mesh your real lashes and your false lashes, just to really blend them together. So I'm not actually going to do this for this look because I quite like the wispiness and how it looks as it is. And the lashes are already quite long, so I don't want it to be too heavy or dramatic. So what I'm going to do instead is just to use a clean mascara wand. This has nothing on it. I'm just going to comb through the lashes really gently because you don't want to unstick them, but it just helps to blend your lashes and the false lashes together. I think I could do with one small lick of mascara on my bottom lashes, and then the look is complete. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit more on my bottom lashes, and there we have it, the finished look. The brown, gold, sparkly, smoky eye. Perfect for New Year's Eve. Really hope you liked seeing how I created this eyeshadow look. Personally, I think it's perfect for New Year's Eve tomorrow night, and it's what I'm going to be wearing myself. So I hope it inspired you guys, and you might be creating something similar yourselves. Happy New Year, guys! See you next year! That feels so weird to say that, but yeah, see you in 2016.